Welcome to the Yankee Rican podcast, where we talk all things Yankee and sports related content. My name is Frankie Crespo, alongside with my partner in crime, Teo Kum. We are two New Yorkers who love all things sports. It has been a while since our last episode. Delays, work, it happens. It's the summer. It's nice to go out. It's nice to get your money up before you end up going back to school. It's nice like that. It was also
Please don't say
All-Star
the
break.
S word. Please don't say the S word.
S word. We can't. Wait. What do you mean? Can't say that.
Don't say school. I don't want to
Why
go
not?
back.
Okay. I get it. But yeah, so it has the All-Star break has finally ended. The All-Star game was pretty good actually. It was low scoring, whatever, it happens. And then you also get into the home run derby. Actually, I thought it was pretty exciting. They changed the rules a little bit. There was no more timer, which I don't know how you feel about the timer. I don't know if did you watch the derby, by the way?
I watched the Derby. I didn't hate it. I also didn't really love it per se. I thought that the swings were instead interesting mechanic as opposed to the time, because I feel like the timed, if you get timed per swing and you miss, like, all right, let me refresh that. Like, if you're counted on solely off your swings, I think that's better, because I don't necessarily think, not that it's fair, but I don't necessarily think that it would be better to have a timer and and not be counted for the amount of swings you miss. That isn't to say that the Yankees should be playing in the home run derby anytime soon. I don't think they should all be playing in the some like some people shouldn't be doing certain things. Trump shouldn't be a president, you know? Mm, who's that one singer? Dak shouldn't be really a singer or rapper, I'm sorry. And Ben Rush shouldn't be in that home run derby. That was embarrassing. There's the second time in a row that a Yankee did not perform at all during the home run derby. That was embarrassing. That was really embarrassing.
Yeah, so we go from Jazz's 3 home runs in the last home run derby to Rice's 5. So upgrades, people. I mean, it's nice, but not
Making
really.
progress.
Yeah, that's progress. I do think Rice's dad wasn't really able to work with Rice as well as he probably should have. Um, just it looked like, I mean, looked like he was trying to strike out his son in the home run derby, which that's kind of what happened. So I was like, yeah, it wasn't pretty. But the rest of the participants were great. I mean, Murakami, Harper, Schwarber, and of course the winner, Jordan Walker. I don't think anybody expected Jordan Walker to win. I mean, he did have a
No.
famous home run where I believe it was in college or something like that. He hits one like 524 feet or something like that. So not that he doesn't have pop, he definitely does, but it was crazy. Like Kyle Schwarber was definitely the favorite, I believe, for this derby. I had him
Kyle
definitely.
Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber. I also had Junior Cabanero winning the whole thing. I thought that he would really excel well, and he did for a little bit, but obviously he didn't win.
And then we were just talking about Contreras, and he did great too. He did his thing, most home runs in a single round, which really shocked me. I really didn't think that was gonna happen, but he really showed off there. Um, it was fun watching the home run derby. I do think the timer, that there's certain negatives to both not having a timer and having the swings instead, the limited amount of swings. It just depends. Like, I liked the last home run derby and I like this one also. I just think I like this one just a little bit more, and it wasn't because of the rule change. It was honestly because of the way the participants were. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, you had exciting players in the home run derby. Like, no offense to Jazz, right? Which we'll get to Jazz later on also. But I mean, honestly, the biggest thing for me was last home run derby. I was like, okay, is Jazz a home run guy? Like, not really. He does get home runs, obviously, but this is not a guy who's gonna go 50-50, you know,
So he
as much as
says.
he claimed it.
So he
Yes,
says.
I'm just saying,
Prove us wrong, Jazz.
yeah, do prove us wrong. I mean, he still has, the second half of the season to get there, but I don't think it's gonna happen. And obviously, the Derby was a travesty. And then Rice at least he actually does hit home runs, in game. And he's still producing, and his second half so far has been great also. So that's basically the home run derby, which was great. The All Star game, a little bit of a pitching duel from the NL and the AL.
I would
They
say
kind of went
mostly
back
a
and
pitching
forth.
duel. I
Yeah,
would say
that's what it
mostly a
was.
pitching duel.
It definitely. I mean, basically all the runs came in from the first inning. Between Rice and Bellinger. Bellinger, who ended up winning the All Star Game MVP. And then obviously Miguel Vargas hits a solo shot, which was pretty far. That was actually a nice one. Um, but besides that, yeah, the NL didn't put up one run, which is kind of wild because you look at the NL starting lineup and you would think, oh wow, these guys are gonna maybe give the AL quite a challenge this All Star game, and honestly, they didn't. Um, Christopher Sanchez, I mean, he struggled before coming into the All Star game, and on the All Star game, he also struggled. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, he was arguably the best starting pitcher in baseball just before that start against who were they playing? We talked about it on the podcast. Um, they were playing some team. He gave up like what 9 runs in like an inning, basically, or something like that.
Oh, the Royals
The
of all
Royals.
teams, the Royals.
Yeah, the Royals, which yeah, you don't expect that from the Royals, but yeah, I mean, ever since then, I don't know if it ruined his confidence or something. I guess we're just gonna have to see. I mean, he's not going anywhere. He's still gonna be pitching for the Phillies. He's still their ace, basically. At least for the foreseeable future, obviously. And no, All Star was pretty nice. It was nice seeing everyone. I think everybody had a great time. I really enjoyed the games. I thought again the Derby and the All Star game was nice. And then we get back into Yankees baseball, obviously. After that, and I was wondering, yeah, a little bit of a downer, but not
I
really. At least
guess.
you get into the first series after the All Star break with the Nationals, and that went pretty well for the Yankees. And you could break that down for us.
Yeah, so then we wanted to get a better start because we lost the season series in the Minnesota Twins and the Detroit Tigers. So we're looking to bounce back. One thing to keep in mind with the Yankees is that we seem to be having a we seem to come to a rhythm when it matters most. 5-3 game. Yankees win this one with Ryan Weathers on the mound. Ryan Weathers had a better outing than he usually does. 6 hits given up, 1 run given up, 6 strikeouts earned. The Yankees had a lead very early, and then the Nationals took it back with James Wood going deep. But then in the top of the ninth, Josh Chisholm in the clutch gave us a home run. Austin Wells added some more damage to it. 5-3 doesn't move me at all. Yankees take game one against a Nationals team that has no bullpen whatsoever. Their bullpen is non-existent because the team has blown so many. There's a specific stat online. I don't know if Rick even want to look at it, and then after when I'm done, you could say it. But I remember on the broadcast they said a specific stat. The Nationals have blown the most saves in the league so far, and that could be more true not only for this game but for the entire series. If we're looking ahead, game two, 4-2, Yankees took the win there. Yankees came back in the bottom of the eighth after being down by 2 with Trent Grisham and Paul Goldschmidt's home run. In this game, Cam Schittler had a decent start. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, 2 runs came about, 6 strikeouts. Better outing this time. I do think that some, James Wood is a beast. James Wood is a beast. I mean, James Wood really got around to Cam Schittler very early, and he's been such a great player for the Nationals. The diamond in the rough, so to say. But it couldn't stop the Yankees right there. Moving on to game three, it was also the same formula, 5-3. I mean, at this point, it was like the Knicks. Like, you should have bet on them if they were down by like 50. Somehow they could come against the Nationals. In this game, Will Warren had a better, not necessarily outing, but had a great outing at. Wait, what? Yes, outing. He had 4 hits allowed, gave up a run, 2 strikeouts. Big thing to note about this game is that this team had way less strikeouts than they normally had. They only had 8. And again, the Yankees came back from a 2-run deficit in the bottom of the 8th with Ben Rice's 2-run triple. So now that I have the games kind of recapped, Frankie, do you notice a pattern here?
Yeah, so I mean, we did actually mention this before, but the Yankees always seem to be looking forward to the bottom of the ninth or around the eighth inning, seventh. Again, the latter part of the games to actually to end up winning games. And that's something that, again, they showed off against the Nationals, which is great. It's great to come back and end up winning games, right? But when you're the Yankees, that's not a winning formula. You have to win games earlier. You have to win games consistently. You have to put up runs throughout the game because
Right.
obviously you can't always just come back. It's not always easy to come back. Sure, it's like it's easier to come against the Nationals, sure, but when you face teams like the Dodgers, like we ended up doing in the next series, you can't do that. That's not easy, you know. So that's just a pattern. And I have that stat, by the way. So the Nationals this season so far, 28 blown saves. Um and then the all-time blown save record of a team is 37 in a single year. So they're looking to potentially break that, kind of a bad record to have. So
Yeah, I mean, this if they needed a win here, was definitely the way to win. Ernie Johnson once said when he was an MLB announcer for TNT, the main range you want to score runs is from the first inning to the 5th inning. That isn't what I'm basically saying here in taking Ernie Johnson's words is that get some fucking runs in. Don't wait till the last minute. I mean, we can't have the same energy when we're facing better pitchers. You know what I mean? Like we can't face it if we're facing Mason Miller or definitely Johan Duran or definitely Jacob Mizrachi because he could go to 9 innings. I think he can go to 9 innings. It's just something to keep in mind for me, and I think that was the kind of energy that we were hoping to put against the Dodgers. We did for one game, but not for the first game against the Dodgers. So shifting gears a bit, Game 1, it was 2-1 Dodgers. And honestly, this was another type of pitchers duel. Garrett Cole got the start, 6 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts. Great work from him. However, the Yankees did lose to Roki Sasaki. 5 strike. He pitched 5 strikeouts. I don't know how the fuck you allow that to happen. Roki Sasaki, one of the worst fucking Dodgers in Dodger history, and you somehow managed to lose to him. But anyways, looking at this game specifically, the Yankees had the lead very early in the game at the bottom of the 4th with Jason Dominguez. With Jason Dominguez scoring in a run thanks to Jazz Chisholm's pop out over to third, and then an error came about. However, and I did wanted to talk about this. It's another Aaron Boone makes a idiotic move where I understand that Garrett Cole is almost Hall of Fame. I don't know if you want to have an argument where is Garrett Cole a Hall of Famer or not. I will say this: he's one of the best pitchers of all time, approaching that level at least. I understand that you want to keep him in as long as possible because he's trying to get back into his mojo. He's been out for an entire year, so he wants to lock back in. But, you know, if he walks somebody in the bottom of the 7th and we're having a low scoring matchup and his pitch count is already at 100, pull him out. Pull him out. There should be no reason why he should be pitching after that certain limit. I understand, and Michael K brought this up. It's all about building trust with your pitchers. If I were Aaron Boone, I would say, it's just time to put him off. And that wasn't the case here, and that allowed for Max Muncy to score a 2-run home run, and then the Yankees just didn't do anything at all. It was just once that happened, they just forgot how to play baseball for those last 3 innings where they just struck out a bunch of times and weak grounders. Rough outing, and then it got even worse. 8-2 low loss against the Dodgers. Yoshi Yamamoto went 9 innings against us, which is like disrespectful as hell. Cam Schlittler had to start. Not a good start here. 4 innings pitched, 6 hits allowed, 3 runs came in. Had 8 strikeouts though, so that's kind of a positive. But again, the team had no way around Yoshi Yamamoto. No contact hitting. I mean, Trent Grisham got a home run. He was back in his little stage, I guess. But the main thing for me in this game was just that we forgot contact hitting. We forgot it. We forgot it, and it was just annoying. And like, I want to be mad about it because we're in the second stage now. So this whole if we lose one game, that's okay. We still have 161 more to go. No, that's not the case anymore. Now is the start. Now's the time to really. It's crunch time, right? So if you don't, and I said this last week, if you don't win the first 2 games, you need to win the third game. And sure enough, the Yankees did that. 2-1 this time. Cody Bellinger struck first with a run. Edmund tied the game at the top of the 8th. And then Jazz Chisholm, the clutch man himself, Mr. 50-50, a solo home run to give them the lead. And then David Bednar puts it to bed. This time it was another pitcher's duel, but it was more from the bullpen. And I got to give the bullpen their flowers here because everybody did their job. Even with the run coming in to score thanks to Fernando Cruz, Paul Blackburn did his job. Brett Hedrick did his job. Fernando Cruz did his job. Ryan Yarbrough did his job. David Bednar did his job. This was a great win. This was a great win because it shows us that we can be competitive against the Dodgers. It's just all about finding a contact rhythm. So as we approach the Pirates series, the first game happened, and I'll let Frankie cover this one. The next game will not happen until the release of this episode Wednesday because they are playing a doubleheader. Because apparently, according to my weather app, there is a tornado watch in effect. So we might be dead after. Hopefully not. I
Yeah.
mean, I hopefully not. But
No,
Twister
yeah.
is approaching.
Yeah, exactly. And then at least it's not a Sharknado, but yeah, so
No,
the
no, no, no,
between the
no. Thank the Lord.
between the Yankees and Pirates on the first game of the series, Ryan Weathers gets the start. Okay outing. Again, Weathers has been really unlucky in about every single outing for the Yankees so far. Just he doesn't get run support. Right, and it's funny because you heard the announcers, you're hearing the people behind the game, and they're saying, "Oh, well, Weathers doesn't really get a lot of run support." This game, he actually did get run support early on, and the Pirates kind of just kept hitting him around. So that argument, oh, if you gave him run support, he can win easier, didn't really hold true. Weathers ended up going 4.2 innings. 5 earned runs, 7 hits, gave up a home run, just a couple walks. Besides that, I mean, this was really a Frankenstein of a game, I'd say. About everybody had to get a hit just about in this lineup besides Grisham. Which was kind of unfortunate, but Jazz 2 for 4, Bellinger 1 for 4, Rice 1 for 3. Everybody kind of had to put something on the board to kind of just get the Yankees the success that they needed. And yeah, again, the bullpen, like we've brought up, the bullpen has been really nice so far. There was a lot of hiccups before the All Star break, sure, but right now they look pretty good. I think the rest definitely helped. And Tim Hill, Hedrick, Chivili, Cruz, those guys really put themselves together, despite their hiccups earlier in the first half. But yeah, the Pirates definitely came out. This was an exciting game, 8-5. That's a lot more than we saw the Dodgers series mostly. I guess we're gonna have to see the doubleheader. Usually doubleheaders, historically, they split the series between a doubleheader, so the Yankees should end up finishing 2-1 against the Pirates. But we will be looking forward to that. Um, Ashcraft, didn't really have a lot of success. 3 innings pitched, 7 earned runs. Definitely really unlucky on his part. Um, but the Pirates, again, they had a pretty successful game for the most part. A lot of defensive changes. And again, the biggest thing that happened towards the latter part of the game was it's just a weird confrontation between Jose Caballero and Dennis Santana. Dennis Santana, who's a former Yankee. Um, I guess something happened between the two, or Dennis Santana. To me, it looked like he just got upset at Caballero kind of stepping out of the box, giving himself time. I think he was really frustrated by that. Just I don't know, it just seemed really unprofessional. And again, knowing Dennis Santana, this was a guy that last season he really had a great season with the Pirates, so it's all very bizarre that he acted in this way. I'm not sure what happened, but he was definitely frustrated, but Caballero was unbothered. He didn't care at all. But the benches cleared, and I thought something might happen, but fortunately for both players, nothing really happened. Um, so yeah, besides that, I guess we're just gonna have to see how the environment's gonna be for this next doubleheader, which is gonna be on Wednesday again. As of the uh uploading of this video, which should be on Wednesday, the Yankees and the Pirates are gonna be playing a 105 start. Garrett Cole should be the starter. Hopefully, he's looking to make a comeback. Looking to keep up the strong outing that he did against the Dodgers. Again, it wasn't really his fault that he gave up that run. I mean, I think he made the argument to stay, but really it's not his argument to make. Like, if Boone thinks that Cole should come out the game or should stay in the game, that's up to him. Okay. I
Right.
mean, Cole wants to keep going because he's a really competitive guy. Cole is him. Historically, he's been that guy. But right now, with the way that he's recovering, maybe he shouldn't, he's got to humble himself a little bit more. So I guess
Yeah.
we're just going to have to see in the next start. And then for
No,
game three, yeah,
I'm sorry. No, I understand that Cole has notoriously been a competitive person, and I like that he is. That shows us that he's still that guy because he's coming off an injury. But in that scenario, when you're about to hit 100, 9 times out of 10 you take out that pitcher. There's just no way, especially a good team against the Dodgers. I would say to get rid of that pitcher, but the past is the past. You learn from the past, and it's time to focus on the future.
yeah, absolutely. And currently, from what I can tell, game three of the Pirates series, I don't know who the starter might be. Uh, Unfortunately, I think that might end up being a bullpen game, especially since it's the second half. That's gonna be a 7:05 start on Wednesday, second game of the doubleheader. So we're gonna have to see who's gonna end up coming out. We did bring up Rodriguez since he might get called up again, doubleheader, extra man. So I assume they're just gonna call up another pitcher for some relief at least. Um, but
So I
yeah.
actually have some news. So Elmer Rodriguez won't be getting the second game. Justin Max Free's last rehab start has been bypassed, and he will start tomorrow for Game 2 of the doubleheader against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Wow. Really? Really? He's so okay.
Yeah.
So Freed is going to be making his return. Now that's funny because I hear I have some topics here that Freed was going to be coming back soon. I didn't know. I don't think anybody knew he was coming back this quickly.
Nope. I
Um.
just got this news right now.
Okay. So Freed is going to be making the start apparently in his comeback game against the Pirates. Now I guess the question is there going to be a pitch limit? I assume that there will be. I'm assuming he's gonna throw no more than 50 pitches.
Yeah,
No
it's
more
still
than
going to be a bullpen game. I still think it's going to be a bullpen game. I I just wanted to drop that news bomb like but I still think it will be a bullpen game. Max Free will probably have minutes minutes adjusted. This isn't basketball.
right, right.
His pitches adjusted or actually given him a limit. But it's still nice to hear that he is back. Now, I guess the Pirates, a good hot hitting team. I'm not exactly sure if that's a great move per se, because again, we're at a stage where we need to start winning some more games in order to get back into a better flow. Baltimore is coming up. Boston's on a great winning streak right now, so it's time for the Yankees to really just lock in right now. But it is good to hear that Max Fried is active. Obviously he's alive, but like he's good. He's ready to play, and that's the first step in a long recovery phase. Well, not long, but getting back into a rhythm is takes some time.
Yeah, definitely. And besides that, I thought when we were going to bring up some injury stuff, I thought we were going to bring up Freed, but now we don't have to. Freed is, healthy enough. I'm glad that he's back. I think the Yankees are definitely going to be happy. Yankee fans are definitely happy. I'm pretty happy right now. That's good. That's honestly great news. And then I guess we might as well get some of the bad news out, and then I want to bring up another conversation between potential bullpen or starters, and then you really get into, so over the All Star break, Cashman confirmed and Judge confirmed that he did have uh the his rib injury is not gonna be as a fast recovery as people thought it was gonna be. Um, it's not just some sort of bruising issue as I think it was reported at first. Um, Now we really don't know how long his recovery is going to be. So the thought was if he was going to come back, that he was going to come back around towards the end of the season, which still would have been kind of, very, it would have been a tough situation for Judge. He comes back at the end of the season. This was a season that potentially Judge was going to be another MVP candidate. He was definitely going to finish top three. Now, obviously, with all the things that have happened, that's not going to happen. Very unfortunate. But he's still looking to help the Yankees win. And unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen during the regular season. If Judge does come back to help the Yankees, it has to be during the postseason, which means we have to get into the postseason in the first place, okay? Um, you know, and besides that, you also have the news with Stanton. Now, last time I think we talked about Stan, they reported that he was taking baseball warm-ups very soon. We have yet to see that happen. So we know Stanton possibly did get hurt again, and it was confirmed he did get re-injured. Um, I believe it was not related to his previous injury, and so now the timetable for Stanton coming back is also unknown. Which is
Do you think?
definitely upsetting.
Do you think that we? I because this is my thing. Okay, I think that we're honestly better off with Stanton out now because we're just in a good chemistry. Not to say that I don't want Stanton to be better. Of course, I do be better, my pooks. But it's just like with a unknown timetable, is it just better to just shut him down completely and just wait another year? He's not getting any. He's not getting any younger, right? You know what it is? I'm just tired of these games. I'm tired that he can't open a bag of chips. I'm tired that he's just not been back in the lineup because it's been forever since we've seen him. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. And it's the same thing for Judge. Now, you mentioned playoff Judge. We I we could name several times where Aaron Judge was not clutch. We could name times where Aaron Judge was clutch in the postseason. But the main thing is just we want to know if he is available to play for the rest of the year. I made the prediction last episode that he might as well be just shut down for the rest of the year at this rate because this injury that they're presenting us seems like a very serious injury. Now, obviously, when you get injured in baseball, it's always serious, especially if you get like a lollipop stuck in your throat, Jazz Chisholm.
That would have
But
been terrible.
that would have been terrible. That's some ER shit. But
Yeah.
or the pit.
Yes.
But I don't know really how do you approach this? Is it just better to see if it's just better to wait him out, or is it just like fine? Let's put more investment into Ben Rice and have Judge if he comes back play more of a secondary role. If that kind of makes sense.
No, okay. So if you want to hear what I have to say, which I mean, yeah, you do, right? Come on, you're here to listen to us.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
my thing is I kind of agree with your statement that they could really just pretend that Judge and Stan are not going to come back for the regular season, and just kind of hold them off for the rest of the season. Now, you have okay, that's the baseball side of the argument, right? Like, okay, Rice is having an all-star season, Bellinger's having a great season. You know, potentially you still have room. Look, Jason Dominguez has been playing great so far the second half. He's been playing a great right field. He's been hitting really well from both sides of the plate now. And you still have Spencer Jones, who will probably end up playing some games very soon. He's still looking to make a big breakout on this team. His first impressions were pretty good, so we're just looking to see more out of him, really.
right.
Um, Jazz is definitely making that next step. He's trying to prove himself that he is a legit player. He's a legit Yankee. You have Goldschmidt, who's having one of the greatest, comeback seasons, old man, like Unk still got it type seasons. And, Rice, he hasn't played a lot of first base because Goldschmidt has been so great. But Rice has been the perfect DH. He gets on
Right,
base about, more than half the times that he, ends up in the box. So it's just, what are you gonna really do? Like when Stan comes back, you know, oh, so now Goldschmidt has to sit down. Like, no, we don't want to see Goldschmidt sit down at the moment. We want to see Goldschmidt play every day, you know, um, because Goldschmidt's that guy. We want to see Rice play every day because he's also that guy, obviously. So Stan doesn't have a spot on this team right now. And you could, you could make the argument Judge doesn't really have a spot in this team right now either, except for the fact that our outfield is just has been kind of inconsistent. Besides Bellinger, you have Grisham, who really has been having such a terrible season. Um, that option for that one extra season that we did on Grisham has not been working out. Has not been at all. We could have sold him. We could have got rid of him during the offseason. I honestly, at the moment, I think we should have. Even though I loved Goldschmidt, and I'm not Goldschmidt, excuse me, I love Grisham, and what he did for the Yankees last season, he was very good, whatever. But, um, his performance this season has been really upsetting.
right.
Again, the young guys, they've had their ups and downs, but at least they're young. At least we know that they can play a lot of games. At least you know that there's a lot of potential in them. I mean, I even look at Schumann. He's been great. He plays a lot of positions, and honestly, he could be a starter on this team potentially. Definitely over Grisham at the moment. And we got rid of again. We It's funny we bring him up again, but Grichuk. How many G's have played for the Yankees recently? By the way, that's just really
Gee, a
uncomfortable.
lot.
Yeah, a lot, a lot.
Gee, a
That's why
lot.
I fumbled it. I fumbled it a little bit, but yeah, Grichuk, who has been first of all, the White Sox are a great team at the moment. He's a starter on that team. He plays
Yeah,
every day in the outfield. So it's just like, what are we doing? Like this team needs a lot of different things. Like Wells has started recently heating up, but that's not going to last long. We've seen that happen before. Like we need another catcher. um, there's been talks that we need another third baseman, another second baseman, or we maybe do need another starter. I don't think we need a high caliber starter, but we definitely do need somebody who's going to be a good starter for us. And obviously the talks with shortstop too. As great as Caballero has been for the Yankees, I don't think he's a real, like, legit starting shortstop every day. Now, he's a good guy because he plays every position basically in the infield. And he could play some outfield. Don't play him in center field, though. He could play corners if you'd like, but don't put him in center field.
nope.
Um, so I don't know what's going to happen. Um, Judge is better than I would take Judge with injured ribs right now or whatever he's got going on over Grisham, who is completely healthy. That supposedly he's healthy, but he's playing like he's hurt. You know,
Somehow he could hit. Then Grisham, like fuck.
yeah,
I like.
I think he could hit.
Yeah.
But
Now
that's yeah,
I agree and disagree. I think this is like the stage with like I'm talking a lot of NBA today, but it's kind of like the Buddy Hield situation where like he has a hot start and then he's benched and then he not benched, then he's injured and then he comes back, he does nothing, and then it repeats every single season. This is the case for Trent Grisham, and it's unfortunate because I did defend Greg Grisham, I did defend Trent Grisham multiple conversations, whether it be with you after school or with other people. And I would say, like, listen, Trey Grisham, I think he's a good player. He's shown what he can do under the bright lights, the hardest team to play in the hardest stadium to play, not hitting wise, but environmental wise. So I think he has this stuff. I think it just takes time and lately he's just not been getting into that rhythm, and we're running out of time to see if we really want to invest with him full on or just let him walk in free agency. And I think most Yankee fans want him to let him walk, and in doing so I think Max Schumann would be a better position player for them. I also think that Aaron Judge should be coming back anytime soon. I will pay him like $2 I will pay him $2 for him to come back. He'd be like, he'll look at me and be like, "Are you serious? Are you really offering me $2 to come back?" But in all seriousness, I mean, we're in a good stage right now, chemistry wise. I do think that if when Stanton and Judge come back, and they will at some point, whether it be this year or next year, we're gonna have to do a lot of adjusting. But it's also a look ahead, right? Because Paul Goldschmidt isn't getting any younger. This year and next year will probably be his last years, right? So it's time to start thinking now about what will best work for our team in the near future. So that's just basically what I mean. And the reason why I asked those questions is because it's just like we're just playing the game with these doctors where we're not getting a yes or no answer. So we're just having to play it out with the cards that we are dealt. And granted, the cards that we're being dealt with are working out for the most part. It's just consistency that matters most. I feel like a broken record when I say this word. Consistency, but that's what matters the most, right? So it's just something to keep in mind. Now, shifting gears a little bit, let's talk about the look ahead. So we talked about the Pirates. Pirates are going to wrap up their series against the Yankees. Then the Yankees will go to the Philly, dear God, and we'll take on the Philadelphia Phillies in a 3-game set. Then the next series after that, they'll take on the White Sox in a 4-game set. We'll most likely cover the Phillies and Pirates, wrap up those two teams, and then try to get some of the White Sox in because we film every Wednesday. So that's the look ahead. I think that we could take 2 out of 3 from Philly, but the Yankees are bipolar, so I do think that we will go 1 for 3. But hell, I'd like a sweep. I think a sweep would be generous. What about
I
you?
do.
What do you think?
What I would say is right now with the way the Phillies were playing before the All Star break, and I think their current performance, there is a chance, like there is a reality where the Yankees do take the series for sure. I'm not gonna count them out. I do think that the Phillies can end up losing the series. Are we gonna sweep the Phillies? I doubt that because most likely we'll end up facing one of their elite pitching staffs, one of their elite starters. We're probably gonna see Johan Duran eventually, like in one of those games at least. So I think that's gonna be kind of tough on us. Um, you know, you still have Zach Wheeler. You still have, I mean, say what you will about Sanchez, but he's still an elite pitcher. He's still going to be great.
We'll see.
Yeah, and of course
We'll see.
everybody's great. Yeah, I know, right? And everybody's great against the Yankees because everybody wants to perform against the Yankees, right? So I'm sure we're going to get his A+ stuff. Um, and then when you get into the White Sox series, now we did have a great series against the White Sox the second time around. We will face them again, obviously. This is the third time. And I'm gonna say we're gonna take 2 of 4. I think two of
So
four.
split the
I
series.
think we're gonna split the series, which will mean that the White Sox and the Yankees have kind of split the entire series throughout the year. I do think this is the last time we faced the White Sox, I believe, during the regular season at least. So I don't think we'll see him again. just because Murakami's going to be back. I think almost all their starters are pretty healthy at the moment. Obviously, whatever you can say, whatever about their pitching staff. Like their pitching staff is still not amazing, but if you have heard the rumors, the White Sox are not selling. Like the White Sox are not selling anybody off the team. So they're looking to buy potentially. And
Yeah.
obviously their biggest upgrade would be their pitching staff, whether they get a starter or they get a reliever or a collection of between the both. Um, so yeah, you're just gonna kind of look into that. You know, the White Sox are definitely again not a bad team. The Phillies are definitely not a bad team. You know, you're gonna see the Phillies somewhere in the postseason this year. Are they gonna choke again? Probably. That's just what the Phillies do at the moment.
Yep. Yep.
But but respect the Phillies, respect the White Sox because they're legit teams. They're winning teams at the moment. The Yankees are barely winning, against a lot of these different series. Um, you know, we gotta wish for continued success, but we're about to face some elite hitters and some elite starters in these next few series. So we just kind of got to be careful.
Yep. A lot of baseball to look after. It's crazy. It's 2 months left of baseball. Well, no, that's not true. There's
A little bit more than that.
three and a half months of baseball left. Which is
Yeah,
like, damn, man. I always want to talk about baseball, but unfortunately we are running out of time. But hey, NBA season's coming back, NFL season's coming back. Let's go, Giants! We're going to end 14 this year
we'll
comfortably.
see.
And oh yeah, NHL too. But I do think we have a good positive future ahead, whether we have Judge, whether we have Stanton, or we don't have them at all. It's just about finding our rhythm, getting back on track, and locking in. Because this is like I said, this is the second stage now. We're officially in the second stage now. I can say that comfortably and confident. You know the word. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes. I do not think that we will have a terrible season, but it's just about again finding that rhythm, baby. So until then, this will wrap up this week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, taking time out of your day to listening to Put. I love talking about the Yankees. Catch us next Wednesday where we will continue to talk about the Yankees, see where they're at now. If we'll have any updates with Aaron Judge or Giancarlo Stanton, or things remain the same. Most likely things will probably remain the same. But who knows? And maybe we'll find out if LeBron will get on a team yet because I'm trying to figure out like when he's going to go on the team. Is he going to go to Golden State or Cleveland? What do you think, Frankie?
Well, if you heard the rumors that he's gonna end up in the East Coast, I say the most appropriate team that he's gonna most likely end up on is potentially Miami. Now, obviously, that'd be really exciting. I'm, as a if you're a real NBA fan, seeing LeBron in a Miami jersey again would be very thrilling. Like it'd be super exciting. You know, I always said when LeBron's ready to retire, what he should do is do like a reverse, right? A reverse of his career. He already left the Lakers, so then he
Yeah.
should end up in Miami, and then he should finish off his career in Cleveland.
Mm.
It'd be
Mm.
the perfect poetry. It'd be the most beautiful way to finish a career, And besides that, obviously, sure, the old like, oh, like potentially him playing with Curry. I mean, that'd be great, but it's not gonna be nice. Those are old guys. Those are guys who, like, do you see Golden State, going far into the NBA season, like with those players? Not really.
No,
Um,
that roster is playing like 10 games max because they're always
Yeah,
freaking injured.
yeah, because to me that would be like, and you hear that AD is gonna end up in the Warriors too, so they're like trying to have like a crazy reunion between those players, but that's not gonna happen, you know.
No.
Um, and I think besides that, I mean, I remember when there were rumors that LeBron would end up going to the Knicks. Like that's not gonna happen anymore. That's done. He's not gonna play for the Celtics. He's like, I think if the Celtics were the only team that offered him a contract, he would just retire. Like, he would
Yeah.
not play for the Celtics. He's never playing for the
Yeah, man.
Celtics. Um, and besides that, yeah, he's not going to stay on the West Coast, I believe. I think he's done in the West. He'll play in the East. I think he'll finish his career also playing for the East. And besides that, I mean, yeah, everybody's looking forward to seeing where LeBron's going to end up, and that includes me.
Yeah, that spacing is going to be a nightmare in Miami if that actually happens. But you know, LeBron's part of my childhood, man. You know, and so is yours. So wherever he goes, and we'll see him play one last year. Honestly, I like that. I like that logic because if he does play in Miami one more year and then he finished off at Cleveland, the Olympics is in LA this year, so maybe he'll grab one more gold medal. Probably do nothing or just be on the bench all day, but that would be cool to add to your collection. You know what I mean? But okay, for real this time. This will wrap up this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for taking time of your day and listening to Two Puerto Ricans that love all things sports. Catch us next week. And until then, goodbye.
See ya.